For round two. We are killing this today. We are bringing you a second round of content. This is NFT Live. I'm here with my man Ronin. I'm here with Buffalo, where he's going to come in a second and go through a little bit of a giveaway that we're going to have on today's episode. But before we get to that, man, what's up, Ronin?
Not much, man. Not much, man. It's been quite a long day. I think the Pepe drop this morning was super exciting, super fun. Obviously, chat kept us going for that one today, so we appreciate you guys very much. And here we are for round two. So much has been going on as usual in the NFT space, man. This week has been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we went from like nobody knowing about NFTs and kind of like having our little bubble, and that bubble popping and being like this massive big news take this week. What about you? What do you think?
I feel the same way, man. I feel like we kind of barely touched on meme last week, and by this time, it's 7 days, and it just felt like the industry has completely exploded. So yeah, man, this morning, I gotta say, it went okay. It could have gone better. We'll talk about that in a second. A lot of lads in the chat right now that we'll get to, and they were in the sale with us. We'll definitely touch on everything from that GoPepe sale. Yeah, kind of wiped. Obviously, we kind of jumped out of bed this morning, ready for this sale. So it has been a long day, man. But yeah,
Yep,
excited for the news this week.
absolutely. So everybody in chat, Mike, Cryptophagia, Dimitri, what's going on, brother? Ari, Crypto, Pedro, Shifty Sly, and Crypto Coins Matter. So much, man. Thank you guys so much for being here for round two of today's episode. Yeah, man. So overall, how did you feel about the Go Pepe drop?
Yeah, I mean, I think after like kind of the post mortem, I think Steph came into the chat at the end of the episode and was talking about how they kind of routed all the transactions to one node. I think that was kind of the information we got, and that he got from the Discord. So that's kind of that post mortem there. Knowing that, you can't put too much on the Wax team, but at the same time, I agreed with your statement with being able to have a Wax team member in there to help them so that they can prevent this issue, right? As opposed to
Yeah,
kind of dealing with
absolutely.
it when it happens.
Yeah, and you know what? If they don't want to like have to like hire somebody to do the job, then maybe get somebody in the community. I don't know if you know, but the guy, any observation that was in chat today, excuse me, he's actually he is part of Wax Sweden, and so there are like a guild, a Wax guild,
Mm.
and he actually sent me some information a couple hours after we went off air about it as well, and pretty much the summary, which is just pretty much what you said, but it's a little more in depth,
Hmm.
was basically the reason that we failed to claim packs was because Pepe used an API that couldn't handle like the load. So it said they could have used a better one or they could have used multiple ones, but unfortunately they did not. He says that the cloud wallet did in fact fail for the first minute or two, but after that it was just a matter of the API that Pepe chose to use on the back end of things.
Hmm.
And he basically said what was going on was like when you would like turn your card your pack in, the system would try to give you someone else's cards, right? So like if I opened a pack at the same time you opened a pack, the system would try to give me your cards and try to give you mine. So that's why it was giving like errors. But I think regardless, like you said, like I think that the biggest thing here is that with this every launch has been a failed launch as far as like going smoothly. And I think that like as far as the smoothest was probably the first one, GPK, but that's because nobody knew about it. Nobody understood like
Hmm.
the possibility of what it could be. So nobody really ran into issues then. But ever since, man, we're dealing with the Wax Cloud Wallet crashing. If these guys did something wrong, then that just means that somebody didn't teach them correctly, right? Like in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, I just feel like you can't just put it all on a team. Like they're part of an ecosystem that exists, and they're part of a platform that should ensure that every product that launches on it has the support it needs to be successful. And that's I mean, some people disagreed with me in chat, some people disagreed with me in DMs, but I still feel very strongly about that. I think if I run a platform, I want every product that launches to be successful, and it is little friction as possible.
Yeah, 100%. I know you were talking about that customer service when we were doing that rewards at the end of the episode, and that is customer service, right? Being able to offer white glove service to these different launches so that it doesn't reflect poorly on you. So hopefully we get that in the
Exactly.
future. Yeah, hopefully we
Yeah.
get that in the future. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, I think that that last part that you touched on was actually really important. I think part of the reason why um, the taste gets worse and worse is because nobody's like really coming out publicly and saying like this was the issue,
Mhm.
this is how we're going to fix it next time. But they're also not doing anything to make you feel good about the fact that like you invested and you pretty much got screwed unless you just happen to be lucky, right?
Mhm.
So I think, just in the way that a couple of guys said, "Hey, man, it sucks, man. We were here early. We did the tag, and we weren't included because that history was gone." Okay, well, no biggie, man. We'll toss you some, a couple free packs, and we'll make things right. I think that just that's customer service at the end of the day, and I think that Wax is lacking it a little bit. But
Mhm.
let's move past that negativity, right? Like, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
overall, though, I still think it's kind of a cool product.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely kind of threw a wrench into what we were trying to do because if everything went smoothly, you had this upgradable process that you could burn cards. If you had five of
Mhm.
one, you could then rank it up. I think that's a really cool model, man. And I from just being on the secondary market sales and just for transparency's sake, I was able to actually. So I bought three whale packs. I was able to kind of re up. Somebody bought like a cosmic off of me for like half of my initial investment, and then I was able to kind of like sell the rest of them at little portions. So from a trader's perspective, got out kind of clean there. Still have a ton of cards left, which we can go over. But I think the upgradable process and the gaming of it actually leads to more secondary market sales. And I think that's a model that people can take going forward and say, hey, if we have these speculators come in and we also have these collectors that want to do certain things and it'd be fun for the collector and the investor, but more so for the collector, we can have this game model happen. And then it's kind of a win-win for everyone because then you have people buying up in small amounts these smaller cards, which would have probably not been sold, to be honest, if there was
Yep.
no game model. So,
Yep, I agree with that fully, and I think that like I think we're slowly inching. Right, this is still so new, but I think we're still like kind of trying to find that happy medium
mhm,
of collectors and investors. Right. I think I thought about it actually just earlier today, and we'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about the Nifty gateway drop. But they tried gamifying one of their drops, and I didn't agree with it very much. And I think that like when you start to like when you take away the free coins and like the free to play aspect of collecting in all other platforms before this, and
mhm,
it's all real cash, things have to be handled a little bit differently. And I think that you can't just take a model and slap it onto a $70 pack Nifty gateway drop and expect it to be popular. So I think that what they have here is obviously it's looking at collectors, it's looking at investors, like the people who like to
mhm.
collect things and put them together and build and upgrade and get the high tier cards. I think it's an excellent idea. I really do, and I think that I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys do moving forward.
Yeah, awesome, man. So we're going to touch on some of your guys' comments here. Ronan, if you could pull up
Absolutely.
Wax Explorer, I kind of want to go over some things, and I want Buffalo to kind of pull some stuff up before we bring him in. We need to bring Buffalo in here. So right now, I've got the Wax Explorer up on my screen that we
Perfect.
can do here. So what was actually created on 923? Because what I'm looking at on my screen here is basically a situation where on 923 there were looks like 56,000 assets created because other than that today or the sale happening today, you see the stats right here, 924, this is the most assets created since it looks like August 18th. I don't know what happened yesterday that kind of that again that might have been maybe fake, like they're kind of like testing these cards out. I'm not quite sure, but what we have here is again a lot of assets created. You saw volume. I think volume even hit more so than even that sale on August 19th. Again, it gets hard to kind of keep up to like what actually happened on this date,
Yeah.
but they kind of it might kind of mesh with this little chart down here. So since August, early August, guys, this is probably the most volume and the most assets created in a single day that we've seen, just from a
That's
statistical standpoint.
interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm not really sure what went down yesterday, and unfortunately, Waxplorer is not wanting to load for me. I can't get the analytics page to load.
Ah,
But I do know that the Pepe guys have actually been doing like stickers. So I know that they've been rolling out stickers. I also noticed that somebody, so this is the thing about Atomic Hub, right? And this is why
Mm-hmm.
when I'm explaining to chat and everybody who's here, that I make sure that I make a clarification. Anybody can get on Atomic Hub and anybody can create assets and anybody can create a
Mm-hmm.
set and anybody can create whatever they want when it comes to wax. But the difference is that they have these properties, these IPs that are launching like GoPepe and Dark Country last week that they actually advertise and they put out there.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm leading at with that is that I did see that yesterday somebody actually went in and minted like a bunch of what looks like may end up being like an Easter egg hunt or something. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
exactly what the name of that account was, but it was like binary code. The name of the account was a binary code, and then all of the NFTs were blank. But they
Mm-hmm.
created a ton of NFTs yesterday. So I don't know if that was it. Looks like somebody here is actually printing out some artwork at the moment too, which is pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's probably somebody had got on there and decided they want to play around with Atomic Hub as a toy. But I definitely want to make sure we touch chat because there's been a couple things I wanted to pick up. Dimitri says he likes your clean shave, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Diversified
Just for
portfolio
you.
said, yo, he said, Atari and Ultra. Bro, we're definitely talking about Atari and Ultra. I think that's huge news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's Bimmy or Amy because it's an 8. Well said. I agree, Ronin. Thank you very much. Orlando says, aloha, lads. Family ready to celebrate my first lads live stream. Let's go. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for
Ollie's
joining
been
us tonight, buddy.
Yeah, Ollie's been killing it in the chat, man. He's been super nice to chat with. I've
Yes.
DM'd him as well, and we've had a couple chats. So yeah, definitely nice to see you in the house, Ollie. We've got Mike Scott as well,
What's up,
starting
brother?
to creep up there in the top 10 of lads. Mike Scott, so appreciate you as well. Let me go over the stuff that we got to get to before we bring Buffalo in here because we do have a pretty big announcement to get to midway through the episode. I'm going to talk or I'm going to talk on the summary here. So we've got the GPK OS announcement. So we have another wax sale that's happening very, very shortly now. We've got some Delphi Digital news, how they kind of bought up some Axie Infinities. We've got Rarible. We've got Animoca kind of partnering with Flow there. And then we've got that big Atari Ultra partnership, as well as some Nifty Gateway news. So that's kind of the rundown. So without further ado, we will talk on this GPK stuff to kind of wrap up, but I do want to bring Buffalo in there because he's waiting. What's going on, Buff?
Oh man, I'm all over the place right now. Building this show and hitting wrong buttons, you guys. I apologize. I'm just excited. I got some news for you guys right now. I'm not gonna lie. I've been working over the weekend on some exciting stuff. So excited that I'm hitting the wrong buttons and rolling the video a little early. But I had the opportunity to talk to Jamie Thompson at midnight my time, 10 a.m. his time from Greece. He is the CEO and creator of VulcanVerse. This is the metaverse coming to the VeChain network. Put a video together, and we're going to go ahead and watch it now, and then I'm going to let you guys know some interesting things that are going to be available to the lads community and those who really like metaverses. So let's go ahead and roll it and enjoy, guys. Hey guys, how we doing? We got Jamie Thompson here, the CEO and founder of VulcanVerse. Jamie, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm very good. I've got to say that that's quite the intro. I'm just wondering if you'd like another job with us.
Well, it is my passion. I love crypto and I love your project, man. Let's get right into it because I know that a lot of people here are confused and want to know all about what VulcanVerse is. So let's just go straight into it, man, and explain what you can about VulcanVerse.
Sure. Well, I guess best way to kind of put it is VulcanVerse is a combination between this decentralized ownership, virtual world, which we've seen sort of becoming quite prominent in the gaming industry lately. But what we've done is we've taken it away from the usual sort of browser-based pixel format of voxels and such, and we've turned it into a standalone app with sort of graphics and gameplay approaching like Skyrim and AAA games. we've done that because the blockchain we're using, which happens to be VeChain, allows us sort of embed an SDK within the computer to attach to blockchain. So what that means is we have no limits in what we can create. So VulcanVerse is obviously own your own land and build what you like. But what we've done differently is that we've added a massive fantasy lore to it. We've got these sort of very prominent fantasy writers from the UK, some fighting fantasy books, Fablelands, Way of the Tiger, all that, who are writing the lore from it. So we've divided the whole land into 4 quadrants, like Land of Hades, the Underworld, Land of Arcadia, the Grasslands, you've got the mountains and the deserts. So instead of saying, okay, here are your tools, build what you want, we've sort of themed levels around the land. So users can sort of build within the level their land is, but also it has to fit the theme of the quadrant. So if you're part of Hades, you can only sort of build cemeteries and swamps, or the grasslands, forests and waterfalls. And what we've done on top of that is we're including these incredibly designed 3D creatures called Vulcanites attached to the user. This sort of divides the gameplay and the builders. So if you want to sort of play a game, you can do it through your creature, and you don't have to be interrupted if you just want to build. You sort of do your stuff and explore. So we're just trying to combine every kind of sort of novel idea into one. And so far, we've had an immense response from the community. The team's enormous. We've got some high VR teams from the UK and Ukraine and Greece, of course, because that's where I live right now. And so fantasy decentralized world would be the best way to describe it.
I love it. So we got Decentraland, we got Crypto Voxels, we got the Sandbox coming out at the end of the year, and now we have VulcanVerse, which you guys are going into beta at the end of the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have. I mean, we've been working on this engine now since, well, I say Q1, Q2. We originally started in 3JS, because we thought we were just going to do another browser-based virtual world. But literally at that time, VeChain released this C# SDK, which allowed us to move everything from the browser onto a standalone app. And then it turns out, some of these fantasy authors who already worked with me on another game on VeChain last year wanted to get involved. So then they created this fantasy map and this lore and this background. And then before we know it, the team sort of snowballed, and it sort of turned from like another Decentraland browser to like a full-on fantasy app game standalone on the computer. So yeah, it's different, absolutely different. I think it's the first time we're combining, that AAA graphics and gameplay and fantasy with the idea of true ownership through the blockchain.
Awesome. So I've been diving deep on this, and one thing I'm really curious about is a lot of the other metaverses have currency. So how does VulcanVerse work with currency?
Yeah, well, actually, this is one I think we all agree. This is one of the biggest barriers to adoption within the gaming community and outside cryptocurrency. If I'm honest with you, I can't really stand the word cryptocurrency. It has a bit of a negative connotation to it. And for us, it's all about blockchain. So in a nutshell, VulcanVerse has no cryptocurrency whatsoever. You can buy land with cash, fiat. You can upgrade. You can maintain your land with fiat. What we do, of course, we need to write to the blockchain and transfer NFTs. We use a bit of a weird term. It's called multi-party protocol. It just means fee delegation. So on the back end, we're paying all the gas, the blockchain gas, which I guess is a cryptocurrency. But the front end users don't need to know. So they can pay, a few cents to maintain their land, or a few bucks for this demon vulcanite from the river Hades, and we can process out in the back end so it writes to the blockchain, and yet the end users don't know.
Interesting. I like where this is headed. So I am a big fan of passive income, and I purchased some land in the Sandbox, snuggled right next to the big Atari land, and I know here that they have staking, so as I add sand currency to the land, it can generate some passive returns. Does VulcanVerse have any kind of passive return options built into it? Are you guys looking at that at all?
Yeah, we actually today, what day are we on today? Thursday. So yeah, so later on today we'll be releasing an article saying 10 ways how to make money with VulcanVerse. And they literally are 10 genuine, easy ways to make money. Just to go through, I mean, obviously you've got the land flipping, which is just the easiest thing to do. We've also embedded what we call Vulcan pits around the VulcanVerse. Now, one of the skills your Vulcanite creature has is they have attack, defend, espionage, and forage. Now, the higher level land you have, the better Vulcanite creature you can get. So if their foraging level is high, they're more likely to go outside of your land in terms of range, and they can discover these cash pits, which are either in VeThor, which is the gas of a VeChain, or it's in simple dollars. So we reinvest any maintenance money back into these VeThor pits. Now, another wonderful way of earning, which we think is quite cool anyway, is we allow users to design their own assets for land. So for example, you want to design I don't know, some sort of kind of river of blood in Hades, which only level 4 underworld people can have. Instead of us letting people build anything and putting it in the marketplace, we have what's called a DAO, so like a Vulcan voting system. So the community will look at it and say, okay, you know, this guy, this lady's made this this cool asset for Hades level 4. Do we think it will fit the environment? So they'll vote decentralized, and if they do, it goes into the marketplace. Now they take, you know, 90% or something, you know, obviously we take our cut of any sale they make. So if you're a designer, if you're a forager, if you're a land flipper, these are 3 ways to make money. And the 4th one, which we think is really cool, and this is something which hasn't been done, I don't think. If it has, I apologize, but we allow users to embed their own smart contracts into the land. So an example of that would be, you know, you could open up I don't know, some fantasy art gallery of your NFTs in Arcadia and charge people money to enter. Or you could offer an exchange, or you could sell NFTs, or in fact, your smart contract can do anything. So the economics of the world is entirely based on you. And that's what we find so fascinating about this is, you know, when you make a game, you sort of know what it's going to look like. With this, we're just providing such powerful tools in terms of graphics and development. It could just, you know, we don't know. I mean, we gave some people some of the level 1 tools of the sandbox last week. We thought we'd have a few trees and grass, but, you know, they terramorphed it all and made these beautiful garden statues and dragons on top of houses. And, you know, so it's anyone's guess how it's going to look in the end.
No doubts, man. Well, where can people go for more information? We're going to let you get back to it because I know you are super busy with all your projects.
Well, the website is VulcanVerse.com for originality, and Twitter, it is VulcanVerse, and the Telegram is VulcanVerse, I think. Oh, no, the Telegram's very arty, but it's all on the VulcanVerse website. So yeah, VulcanVerse.com, you can find plenty of info. And the land sale is on October 1st. I'll just say that really, just for a little plug at the last minute.
There you go, man. Jamie, thank you so much for coming on today, brother. And I look forward to following your journey with this project and definitely helping you in any way that I can, along with the whole community here at NFTLive. Take care, brother, man, and good luck.
Thanks a lot, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
How about it? What do you guys think?
That was pretty cool, man. Dude, that was pretty cool, dude. You did a great job, first of all. Excellent work, Buffalo. I really appreciate that. And then second, I think that looks really, really cool. I love the idea that they're going to be allowing people to do their own smart contracts in the world, which is, this stuff just like the use case just continues to grow, right? Like you can do infinite amount of things with this stuff.
Yeah, man. What we've seen up to this point with the metaverses are basically like voxel worlds, and this being like a AAA studio, what they're trying to do with the graphics, that would be amazing addition to the multiverse that is being created out here. So great job on that vid.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think it's something now that the land sale is about to happen, and that's where it's going to get real interesting. I can bring up the map here. It's going to take me away, but what's really interesting about this, you guys, is there's not a lot of land. And the sale for X node holders, the registration already happened, but if you did register, you're going to get first dibs. And that's on the 30th. And then on the 1st, it's open to the public of October. And if you take a look at the grid, there's not a lot of parcels on this land, you guys. This is going to be it's going to sell quick. And talking to Jamie about it, he kind of embraces that. you know, I know like a lot of metaverses want to be massive and bring in a ton of people. Well, what if each land was so valuable because there wasn't a ton of it? And so it's going to take a different model in that sense. But you know, it's definitely something that I'm embracing and going to be a part of the sale, and hope other people from the lads community and I know VeChain community, this is their big one because VeChain doesn't have a metaverse yet, so this will be their first, and I'm stoked, you guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm excited just based on your energy. But we did have one question, and this kind of leads up, and it's a good segue into why we're running the video and why we're having it on this NFT live segment. Brandon is asking. He's thanking you first for sharing the alpha, but he's asking you where should he be buying it, and what are we doing today with a specific asset? What's you break it down for us because you're much better at doing it.
For sure. In order to get the land, which is going to go on sale for the public on the 1st, you need to have either VeChain, USD, Ethereum. I highly recommend you go to VulcanVerse.com, check out the land sale, get the information on that. Join their Telegram group as well at Vulcan Forge. It's going to be one of those things that, as you guys know, with today's sale, you know, these first time things might not go all that well. So if there's a sale the day before, I highly recommend you ask people how to go. What were the do's and the don'ts? Like learn from the first people, so that'll give you advantage because, like I said, registration is already complete for the Xnode people. So that's going to happen, and there will be a lot of information after that on what's left, what worked, and that kind of stuff. But let's get to the good stuff now here. And for that, I'm gonna get close with you guys here. We have a contest giveaway, a big one too, a unique NFT from the VulcanVerse. Jamie is going to give that to us to give away, and we're not just going to give it to somebody right now who types in something or spin a wheel, folks. No, we're going to have ourselves a nice little weekend adventure. I hope you guys are ready for this, because this is going to be a very valuable asset. I ain't going to give numbers because it's perspective, it's opinion on whether or not you like fiat or you just want that NFT for the rest of your life. I ain't going to give you clues on what it is either, but I'm going to tell you that it is going to be valuable in its own right. So with that, how this giveaway is going to work is the first thing you're going to need to do is follow us at NFTLive on Twitter. And this weekend, we are going to give away some clues. And the first clue will be on our Twitter handle at NFTLive.Twitter. And let me just give you a little video here again that you guys can just remember. NFT Live is where it's going to be. So as you can see, I'm having some issues with my Stream Deck. I literally mapped my Stream Deck 30 seconds before the show started. I apologize to you guys on that, but as you can see, I'm all over on that, but it'll be sharper next time. But that is the contest to begin with. I hope it makes sense. Any questions, hit us up, and we'll explain it because there is a couple more days, but it will start on the weekend. It will go until the next episode of NFT Live, and the last little piece of secret clue will be in the next episode, and the first person to then put that all together will win the NFT Live on the show. So there you go. Follow NFT Live on Twitter, and hopefully one of y'all win it.
Very cool, man. Very, very cool. I need an apology though. You kind of shit on our number wheel there, our name generator wheel. So guys, that's really cool.
I love the wheel. I love the wheel. What really sucks is when you're prepping it and then you accidentally spin it. Right? You know, I think I've seen that one time, or it hits the same person twice, and you tell somebody, "Sorry, you can't win twice."
We'll get better.
I love the wheel. I'm not hating on the wheel. I love the wheel.
So just for some quick clarification for you guys, follow us on Twitter at NFT Live to be eligible. You also will need to be a lad, so make sure that you are going to t.me/join lads. LADZ, right? Layer one, and then that will get you to where you need to go. And and then you guys can watch out for the clue this weekend on Twitter.
Very cool.
There we go.
Buff, you got anything left? Anything else?
I'm just going to try to focus on a clean show the rest of the time and let you guys take over. I am all over the place right now. But I will be doing some more videos like this. They'll probably be a little tighter in the sense so we can just, have these unique interviews with people. If you are out there and you have a project right now that's NFT related, reach out to us. We want to tell your story as these metaverses get going. I have a huge project that I'll be announcing that's going to be a part of NFTLive. I'm going to be looking for some people that create NFT artwork, people that like to embrace the metaverse and that free sandbox kind of mentality. You want a job in the metaverse? Well, come reach out to Crypto Buffalo and NFTLive, because we got some big things on the horizon. And I'm gonna let you guys get back to it. And thanks for the time, you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Buffalo.
Thanks, Buff. All right, this is what we're doing, guys. We finished off with Pepe. That was an amazing video. So we'll definitely be checking out the VulcanVerse. I'm sure it'll be making a recurring appearance on NFTLive. We were wrapping up Pepe. So if you guys have any more comments on Pepe, please put them in the chat. We want to talk on this sale that happened not even like 12 hours ago at this point. So if you guys have any more kind of post-mortem on Pepe, post-mortem is probably the wrong word, a recap on Pepe. I think they're doing a really good job. There were secondary market sales. Did you have anything that you wanted to hit on before we wrapped up Pepe, Ronin?
Yeah. Real quick in chat, just Brandon Cummings obviously talked about the mystery thing, but Crypto mentioned Bitcoin Lad's mom in San Diego coming soon. I want to be there, so make sure that we get an invite to that party. But as far as like GoPepe, man, I think that obviously, like you said, I think they got a lot of really good things going on. For me, I think that the fact that they really focused on the experience being kind of worth your time once these packs are just in the secondary market is really, really cool. Another thing that they are doing is they're doing pack parties. And now if you guys have not seen this, or you're not really familiar with what a pack party is or anything, I've actually got it pulled up on my screen, Buff. Basically what a pack party is the GPK community called it pack openings, right? So you would buy a pack, everybody would like send their wax to one person's wallet, and then what you would do is the person would buy a pack. You would you would roll for random slots, and then whichever slot you got dropped into correlated with the card as it came out. So basically what they did was the community thought that was a really cool experience, and this started in June, and they started coming, I don't remember how much were they. They were 200 wax. There's 10 slots, so that should be like 10 wax. So I don't know. We'll do half price. Okay, this one's on me, guys. So it'll be 5 wax to get in, and then basically all you do is create it. It's going to ask for your confirmation, and then once I confirm it, you guys are going to be able to join my pack party, and it'll show up in the list of pack parties. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hop into the one that says tfdau.wham. This right here, tfdau.wham. Are you seeing it yet? Because I'm not really sure.
I'm refreshing now. I'll let you know.
Okay. But if not, I may have to hit create again because it gave me a little error. But I really think this is really awesome. They took something that people were spending 20 minutes to crack one pack doing in Telegram, and we were cracking anywhere between 5, 10, 15 packs in a night. And they made it to where you could do it on their website, in their hub. You don't have to do anything crazy. Obviously, they're taking a little bit of a cut. Looks like they're getting 3% of every pack opening that happens, which is like, I don't know, nothing. It's like 2 cents. And then we can pop a pack. Everyone will get a slot, and then the contract kind of handles it from there. So it's pretty cool.
All right, I saw it.
You did? Perfect. I'm going to catch up on chat a little bit.
Cool, guys.
So much in development. Brandon says, great segment, Buffalo. I agree. That was awesome, Andy. The pre-roll videos are going to be coming at you guys quick, fast, and hopefully we have at least a couple here and there for you guys regularly. CryptoCoin says he bought his first whale pack today. He still doesn't know how to do it. So this is good info. That is so funny, Crypto.
There was a lot of people that came into the lads chat today, and also lads that have been there for a little while, and just this had never experienced opening packs. It was really cool experiencing the more kind of veterans that have been through multiple of these failed launches or like had like little hiccup launches, and then the completely green brand new guys that had no idea what to expect. That was a really cool aspect, man. So yeah, I will say one thing. I love that you brought up the starter pack issue here, or not issue, the starter pack feature. But I really feel like going forward with most of these collectibles, I hope they can somehow like leave 10% of the packs be randomized for mint numbers or something like that, where they can still have value even 6 hours later, what happens a lot with these is like the mint number means so much that everyone just wants to open packs immediately, and opening packs like 6 hours later isn't as entertaining. If we could somehow pull a mint one out of this, man, in like this party aspect, it wouldn't it be like way more fun if, and they wouldn't even have to do that on like a total spectrum. They could randomize it, but leave some portion of the cards to leave some value kind of on the table for those that just want to have fun, afterwards, and maybe don't want to race, to do that. That's a fun aspect. Don't get me wrong. But
I agree. I think that it's definitely something that they're looking at doing. I know just from having talks with people in the back end of things that it's not an easy thing for them to do, and I guess probably it's because of the way that they distribute packs, and then your packs are turned in, and that's when the stuff is minted. So I think they're really trying to figure out like, can they pre-mint these things and then throw them into a pool and then have the packs just pool from that pool? Or how do they go about it from there? But I think that's a really smart idea, man. I think that's part of why people are so into the COGS thing. I know we bring up COGS a lot, but I really think they have a good business model. We were in chat Monday, I think, or Tuesday of this week. Okay. It's been 7 or 8 weeks since it launched, and someone pulled a 1 of 1. Okay. So
I
you
like
can
to see,
still,
yeah,
I don't know
cards.
how many
Yep.
there are
Mhm.
still left out there, but there's probably still quite a few that haven't even been minted. I know one guy hit me up and he wanted to get my foil Satoshi. So I've got this foil Satoshi. It's like one of the rarest cards. There's like 4 of them right now. And because he wants to put together what's called a superset, right? So a superset is all the cogs, same border color, foil or no foil, they have to be the same. And then you have the two rare ultra slammers, which is the 8-ball and the Satoshi. So he hit me up, and because I posted it up and I said, if anybody wants it, I'd be glad to trade it, but I want a full set in return. And he was like, I'm really going to go for the set, but I don't know if I want to because one of the cogs he needs still has not been pulled, which is crazy.
Wow. See,
which is why
so
people are still spending $155 for these packs.
there you go. That it's a game theory issue, right? And there's so many
Absolutely.
different ways to do it. And because the wallets are anonymous, it creates an issue. If it wasn't anonymous, you could do something like saying, listen, we'll have 90% of the packs open at first, and like 10% later. And if you open them in the beginning, you don't get to take part in that second pool. But when you have that anonymous wallet situation, someone that was in the first pool could also take part in that second pool. And so there's all these different things you can do. Meme is doing a really cool thing where they have added the element of time, right? They only, if you spend the in-game credits you get from staking Meme, then you don't get the accumulation, and maybe you don't get that 60 pineapple one because you spent it like on 5 pineapple here, 5 pineapple there. So the aspect of time is definitely an interesting thing. So we're far down this rabbit hole, guys. We appreciate all the comments. We'll get to them in a second. Let's touch on really quick. I'm going to pull this up, Buff. I've got the Topps digital announcement. So if you guys didn't get enough on the wax collectible train this week, you have another shot next week. And this one is for the granddaddy or the mothership that is Garbage Pail Kids. This is the Series 1. The packs in Series 1, guys, if you are new, the packs in Series 1, it was like no one really kind of even understood that this was going to be a thing yet. And people that got in early, I'm going to try to pull up collectibles here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can't pull up collectibles. So this is GPK packs, but they're not the standard series. These are Tiger Kings. Look at some of these standard OS1 packs, man. You've got $100 a pack for a standard. I don't even think this is a mega pack, and you've got $100 a pack. So you see what OS does. And this is OS2. They're planning on launching the original series 2, not OS1. And this is happening on the 30th. So we'll be, again, up there getting ready to get let down again. Hopefully the GPK guys don't let us down, but you kind of get it. So what do you think about this OS announcement?
Yeah, dude, it's huge. Obviously, I mean, since OS1 dropped, people have been asking when's OS2. So this is a really big deal. This is probably going to be one of those where like the website will probably crash from how many people are going after it. I definitely think that you're going to want to be quick. I think you're going to want to be early. I think you're going to want to be ready. I think you're going to want to be in NFTLive chat, and then we're going to see how that goes. But I think that if you are 100% just looking at every single NFT as an opportunity to profit, then this is definitely where you're going to want to try to go all in. I know a guy who spent, I think, something like $450 on OS1, and he walked away with over $5,000 by the time he got rid of everything. So, it's definitely a big possibility. I think the animations, you had that pulled up on your Twitter a second ago. The animations are really, really cool.
Let's see.
And then one thing that they decided to do as well was they're actually, so OS1 was a complete one-for-one recreation of the first GPK series that launched back in the 80s. OS2 is going to be the Series 2 that launched back in the 80s, but it is also going to include some special edition 30th anniversary cards as well. So, yeah, dude. So I think it's gonna be really fun.
Damn.
Dude, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be like the fact that like you've got those animations in there are gonna get people so hyped, dude. I still think that they're going with a few too many rarities. I think that like when you have so many rarities, the ones that are like in the middle tend to get kind of lost in the mix. People are going to either collect the cheap set because they can complete a full set for super super cheap, or they're going to want to be the alpha males who go and get the complete 1 of 10 card sets. And then the ones in the middle, man, sometimes they just kind of get left out in the wind. I think it was the prisms that did really well in the OS1, but then I think what was it, the sketch that like just they're really cool. They looked great. They were awesome animations, but you didn't see too many people completing sketch sets because it was in this weird place where it was kind of cool, but not super cool. The prisms had kind of like a more popular, card effect to them. So I definitely think that, it's just like you said, we're figuring out all the game mechanics that are going to work in this space. But yeah, I don't know if you saw in our preview, but we actually got the pack open. So as soon as your party pack, gets full, it's going to automatically open the pack, and then it tells us. So CUQW, who's CUQW in chat? Speak up. You just got a what is this? Royal. I think
Pepe.
this is a Royal, or is that a legendary?
I think it's a Royal. Based on the gold.
Royal, right? Yeah, because legendaries are blue up here. He just walked away with that's awesome, man. Very cool. I think this is really cool, man. It popped up while you were talking, and I was like, oh, smack, cool. Like,
so it was a random time that it just popped? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, it pops the pack as soon as the group gets full.
10th guy. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yep. All right, let's get to some of the comments. Some of these comments are pretty funny. Crypto Pickle's in the house. Crypto Pickle, Pickle, I don't know if you're in the Telegram chat, but you've been in our YouTube chat for at least like 10 months, man. You in my heart, you're an original OG here, lad. So join the Telegram, man. Get in there if you're not already. But he's saying Q was rattled on the NFT episode earlier. I was dying.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Was I rattled?
We had to have a little chill session after the episode for Q. Okay, guys. But I think that like at the end of the day, it's just that frustration of like, you're so hype, man. And we're out here, we're trying to produce really exciting, fun content, right? And then you get stuck with like having to fill the gap, So I think that Q was our spirit animal in that moment, and I think that forever, like we got to figure out. I don't know. Maybe we team up with the meme guys and we get a meme created for you to forever remember that legacy moment.
Yeah, we got to loop that on something. It was honestly, it was just a joke, guys. I wasn't really that upset. I'm kind of, maybe, who knows? But we've got Prodigy saying
you did it with a huge smile on your face.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Perfect. So we've got Prodigy saying he shared this over to over 100 people. So we appreciate Prodigy in the chat. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so
Good to
much,
see you
man.
in the chat. Crypto Stacy is talking shifty. She's also saying, dude, you were unchill. So yeah, definitely, man. We appreciate you guys commenting along in the chat. Guys, we are still on the first story of NFTLive right now. Yeah.
Okay,
so
let's wrap it up real quick.
Yeah.
Pepe was cool. Pepe overall is cool. It's unfortunate that it started off the way it did, but I think that you guys should support these dudes because they're really freaking awesome. And I think that the product is cool. I think the art is cool. I think that this is something that's going to have legs long term. This beginning might be a little bump, and maybe you don't make back, the $200 you threw into it, unfortunately, or something like that. But overall, cool experience. I think that Wax just needs to step it up, and once they do, everybody else will be fine.
Yeah, and I think the continuous kind of streak that we're on, at least if you're with the lad collectible kind of group that has kind of formed, the streak that we're on is kind of good. I think people have gotten in and kind of got a good return, or at least broken even. And I initially did not think that was going to be the case for this pack after all these issues happened. And the fact that I broke even, there is an opportunity for traders in this space if you can be astute, and some of it is luck. So I know some of the lads in the chat, they were talking earlier today, they got some cosmics, they got some artifacts. You're going to actually do really well. Obviously not investment advice, but it's good to see the lads kind of pulling really rare cards.
Definitely. And just for one last thing, I saw Any Observation. He's collecting nothing but DJP mellows, and he sent me a screenshot, and it was awesome. I should have had it pulled up, but anyways, yeah. So if you guys, again, one last, just throwing it out there, you're gonna want to jump in lads. If you're not a part of lads, you're gonna want to be a part of lads. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. 2 lucky lads walked away with meme NFTs today, and those things are definitely going to be a profit. So yeah. Come join the community, be a part of it, and yeah.
All right, 45 minutes in. Let's get on to the second piece, Ronin. What do you got for us under breaking?
I can't believe we just talked for 45 minutes about something that we streamed for an hour and a half.
We don't love this space or anything. What?
No, we're not NFT addicts. Okay, so the next thing on our list is actually the Rarible community vote, the DAO. So this is more along in your space, but I do know that, you know, obviously, like if you've got Rari, you're able to like take part in these community votes and stuff. Why don't you kind of delve into that for us though?
Yeah, definitely. So we'll hit the Delphi afterwards. Okay, so we'll hit
the I miss the Delphi? Oh,
yeah,
I missed the Delphi.
Do the Delphi, because it's more breaking than the Rari news for sure.
Yeah, let's just hit this real fast because this is super easy to talk about. Okay, so anybody who doesn't know, Delphi Digital is a firm that basically looks at digital assets from an investment standpoint. And basically the big news for today was that they went in and decided to buy $150,000 worth of Axie Infinity NFTs. So dude, you and I kind of talked about this, and I sent you like a message in Telegram, I think, and I can't remember exactly how I put it, but I was like, dude, it feels like we were like, I don't know, like under a rock, and then like all of a sudden the entire world knows what the fuck's going on here. You know, it was like 0 to 100 this week, and obviously this is just another example of how people are starting to look at this space, take it seriously, and throw some real money at it. I mean, the Delphi threw $150,000 into Axie Infinity today. So those 5 sellers walked away with some cash. I know one of them sold for $52,000 by itself. So, and the guy who bought it, yeah. And the guy who bought it in January for like $2,000, I think.
That must have been sorry for my language, guys, but that must have been like one of the original pieces or original assets in Axie. Wow.
Yeah, it was a mystic. It was, I'll know that it was a mystic, but it looks like all of these were mystic. So I don't know what made that one special, or if any of these sold for more. I don't know. But I do know that the guy who sold it, I saw his tweet pop up, and he said that, yeah, he just sold for $52K.
Wow.
So that's, yeah, Delphi Digital buys over $150,000 worth of Axie Infinity NFTs.
Yeah, there's no Ethereum price on here. I'd love to get a link to maybe the OpenSea kind of transaction there where you can kind of see it. Maybe it was OTC, so maybe it's not even on like any type of ledger that's open to the public at least. But anyways, yeah, that's a huge piece of news, man. You see people moving into the space. Meme has created this movement, I think, from the DeFi side. It's made it more cool, and it's kind of just unlocked NFTs a little bit for that community. And the fact that they're buying 100K NFTs right after meme becomes a big thing. You got to look at those as kind of tied together. So, all right. So I've got this. Yeah, good.
Got do you want to hit the, just real quick? I was just going to hit YouTube or the chat real quick because it seems like we got some chats coming in. So Blink Core asks, how do you join? How do you join lads? t.me/join layer 1. That'll get you into the holding room, and one of our moderators will get you out of there, get you set up, get you a wallet from tryroll.com, and you will be good to go. So Andre Bell, this content is thick, and Prodigy comes in with thick as fuck. That's so true, man. And we're here every week, every Thursday, and we like them thick thighs.
Man,
Crypto
this is some
says,
late night NFT live stuff going on,
this is
man.
what happens
We don't
when
know what we're.
yeah, this is what happens when we go live, at the end of the day, not in the middle of my workday.
100%. We get a little bit more spicy over here. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk Rarible. Obviously, you guys know about Rarible. They've been in the news. They were at least one of the first projects to really, or NFT projects to have their token kind of go mainstream. I'll pull up the actual token here because, that's important, obviously. I'm going to pull up the token. It looks like it's up 8% over the past 24 hours. It did have that huge run up, I believe, to about, let's see if we can't get in there, $10, $11, now trading at about 5. So it's kind of 50% down from all-time highs. But they definitely did get more and more kind of notoriety from launching this token because they almost did the Uniswap airdrop. And it's almost forgotten, right? People were all talking about Uniswap dropping to their users, but Rari did that too. If you were a Rari user and you traded on their platform, I think it was dependent on the amount of quantity that you did, but you got this Rari token that ended up being super valuable. So this was kind of a DAO move from Rari. Obviously, if they're going to have the token, many of the projects in the space, if you're kind of launching a token, some of that utility is the fact that that person can then, or that investor or that user can then use their token to vote on community matters, aka it would become a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. We're kind of getting in the weeds here, but basically this is kind of one of the first community votes that was there. So if a user earned a bunch of Rari and now they have this Rari token, they could obviously sell it or they can hold it. And one of the utilities there is that they get to vote on this community grant. So in order to fight, and it says very, very plainly, in order to reduce wash trading that's been happening on the platform, because if you have a token that's associated where it's paying people for interacting on the platform, you best believe that some dude out there is going to game it. And that's what happened. And that's what's been happening on Rari. Rari's been taking a ton of hits. So in order to reduce this, what they're doing, and they gave the community 3 steps. Sorry for moving it. Buffalo always hits me up after the episode. It's like, hey, man, you need to slow down your scrolling. So I'm going to try to slow down my scrolling, guys. But basically, to reduce wash trading, they gave the community 3 separate options. I'm going to make my way down here. It looks like the voting period already ended, and they chose option 3. So here's the 3 options. Option 1, I'm not even going to read these out, but basically they all have kind of different parameters around percentages and fees that they're going to charge, so that if some wash trader was trying to do this, he would now be charged fees. They ended up settling on option 3. It looks like by a 90% margin. So commission paid by buyers, 2.5%, commission paid by sellers for primary sales, 5%, and commission paid by sellers for secondary sales, 2.5%. Now, it's important to point out, man, this is really cool. This is on your way to becoming a decentralized, a DAO that can be run with community's help. But right now, when you first launch your token, for the most part, the team is going to hold most of that. And so when you see a 90% clip, a lot of that's probably the team that can go in there and say, hey, we want it to go this way. Now, over time, what you want to do is decentralize your organization. So eventually more tokens will move into the community's hands. But right now, if they're doing this, it's probably the team's voting period. So that was kind of a big dump of info, guys, but it looks like Rari's launching their first community vote.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's exciting, man. I think that, obviously with this being so closely tied to, the blockchain and DeFi and all the things going on there are going to slip into NFTs. And I think that it just makes everything better. Obviously with the meme launch and everything going on, it kind of gave us our first real peak for those of us who are not really into that side of things, how just momentum can build within hours. I mean, the first time you even mentioned meme, by the time that you came around and re-mentioned it, it had pumped like $300 and something. I mean, it's insane. And to somebody who comes from the real world, right? Where money just doesn't move around like that. This is a pretty crazy to witness. And I think that I'm just here for it, dude. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I guess the original intent, and I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but one of the things that ICOs provided were people's ability to be venture capitalists because money does move around like that. We just don't get to see
Mm.
it. And what
Yeah,
blockchain allows
yeah,
people to do is actually democratize that process. So there was a lot of money made if you got an investment early in Facebook, and
right.
certainly crypto moves very quickly. So Facebook had took
Yeah,
the
that's the
guys
thing.
2 years.
Yeah, yeah. If you get a equity in like a company like that, then typically you're looking at like, yeah, like, hey, we're gonna launch, and typically your first 2 or 3, what is it, 2 to 5 years are in the negative, so don't expect
Hmm.
anything big back. And here it's like, did you not realize that 2 hours ago these guys launched, and I'm sitting on $1,500 worth of profit?
Hmm.
Like, what's your problem, bro? So it's one of those things that's just it moves so fast. Chat had a couple things to say. Rari looks very promising. I agree. I think that when I was first asked about Rari and what the deal was with the token and why anybody would care, the answer I gave to that person was just the fact that I knew that those tokens would allow voting. I said, but I don't know where that goes after. But now that we
Hmm.
see this first movement of like, okay, now we're going to implement a step to to cut out some of that wash trading. It proves that it's worth having it, right? Like, I mean, obviously, if you look at Rarible, you look at what they're doing on a daily basis, you look at the volume that comes through that marketplace. It's somewhere it's a marketplace that's going to be around for a while. So why not have a little bit of investment in it? Yeah, so it makes sense. Now, here's one I'm not really sure about. Crypto Stacy says Synthetics has a sweet dashboard to show the breakdown of how the tokens are distributed. I don't know what synthetics is.
Synthetics
That
is
like a
like an OG DeFi platform. We've had Kane Warwick on the episode a
okay?
couple times. He's like a guru, if you say so. Synthetics offers
Cool.
derivatives, which basically, like, I guess if I'm putting it in like a really, really, really TLDR, what eventually you
Mhm.
should be able to do is be able to trade synthetic stocks. So you, instead of
Okay.
like signing up for or being an accredited investor or having to go through all the process, one person could like literally get on MetaMask and trade Apple stock. That's
Got
like the
it.
dream. They obviously offer a bunch of other type of things, but synthetic assets and derivatives are like what they definitely hang their hat on, at least at this point.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Makes sense.
Awesome.
Ari says, what do you guys think about Chads and waifu? Have you heard about? Okay, so I know waifu. I saw something about waifu. I haven't heard about Chads.
Yeah, Chads and Waifu are like they're like memes, right? Like chat, like I
Mhm.
guess the DeFi Chads. That's like what the chat, like how we have lads in layer one. The Chads are basically people that are super interested in DeFi. So you have like
Okay.
Chad farmers. Waifu is like some. I can't believe we're talking about this. Like
That's
that's
I
what
know what
DeFi.
waifu is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
yeah.
it is an anime. I'm an anime nerd, so you know what I mean.
Mm,
And then I see people talking about Chads. It's funny because I also come from Escape from Tarkov, which there's this
mm.
meme in Escape from Tarkov, which is basically like you're either a Chad or you're a rat. And Chads are
Ah,
like the dudes who like beef up every time they go in, and they're like, they're going
nice.
balls to the wall, like they're trying to win every single time they play. And they play quickly. And then rats are the ones who like crawl in the corners, go real slow, like sit in the dark. So it's funny to see like how these terms are used in other other scenes, I guess. Pretty cool.
In the middle of the episode with Meme the other day, like we were just throwing out so many random ass like terms that have just become popular in DeFi.
Hmm.
He was saying sushi and he was saying, a bunch of different things. Meme was obviously a big one, but the fact that you have
Hmm.
sushi and you're talking memes and like all this money is being thrown around along with those
You're talking
terms,
about
it's just
sushi and
it's
memes.
you're, Matrix level stuff. You're just in like the twilight zone, man. It's unreal. So
Yeah.
anyways, man, let's move on here. We've got that community vote from Rarible. The next thing I'll talk on is Animoca brands. So Yatsui is a guy we had on the podcast a really long time ago. We're actually having him on the podcast next week. So the Layer One podcast, we interview like all different types of people within the blockchain space, and we're actually having Yatsui, who's like literally to me the Jesus of NFTs. He's
Okay.
the way that I look at leaders is they can take a simple concept and or a really complex concept and like make it simple. And people that do that are really good leaders because they can get their ideas out to these people and really get action. And Yacht breaks down NFTs. If you want to know about NFTs and what their value is, other than what we're saying, Yacht is number one. So I'll get off my pedestal for Yacht there. Hopefully I can maybe send him that and give him some clout. But anyways, it looks like Animoca is partnering with Flow. So everybody knows Flow, the team behind CryptoKitties, and they're building their own blockchain called the Flow Network. Layer 1 actually is like definitely involved with what's going on there. We love what they're doing with NBA Top Shot. So Flow is going to be a big hitter alongside probably Ethereum, Wax, VeChain now. Give VeChain a shout out there. So yeah, Absolutely. It looks like they're partnering and bringing in MotoGP and Stargirl. Now, some of these are kind of like conceptual to me. I don't really know. So we've got a picture here of pretty much all the different IPs that Animoca has amassed. So again, you have the Sandbox there, Power Rangers, F1 Delta Time. I know Rev Token is another one, REVV, not investment advice, but they launched on Uniswap, or that they supplied that initial liquidity there. So the Rev Token is part of that ecosystem now. But all of these different things, it will be interesting to see. What will Animoca do in the grand scheme of things? Will they move Sandbox? I mean, that sounds like something that can't happen, right? Like, I don't know it's built on Ethereum. Like, there's no way it would. They're doing all this work. It's a lot of work to try to port something over at this point. But you have Stargirl, MotoGP, and Rev, which is that Formula One community. They're all coming to Flow. So that's huge. I think we'll honestly see more about this. Like Stargirl, something that doesn't jump off the page for me, but they're talking about 1 million monthly active users. Like, it's
huge.
So.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, like, there is, like you said, like, I think that the Sandbox could, I don't think that I wouldn't imagine that if they wanted to, I think the biggest thing that they're going to have to worry about if they're built on Ethereum. Wait, Sandbox is, what is Sandbox built on?
Sandbox is Ethereum. Sandbox is Ethereum.
It is Ethereum? Okay, I don't know why I thought EOS, like a fork of EOS. Oh, no, that's Blankos. Blankos has their own little EOS. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, obviously, like, I would think that with what's been going on the last couple of months with gas, like, maybe the Sandbox guys and Sebastian and his team are kind of looking at that situation and thinking, like, maybe we need to consider how we get around that. But I really don't know. It's really going to be interesting. I don't know what it is about Dapper and Flow, but I love everything that they're doing. I love the IPs they're bringing to the platform. Roham over there he's a cool dude. So I'm all for Flow, dude. I think that, like, it's got a huge future, and I'm ready.
I kind of front ran the other story that goes along with this, but Animoca acquired MotoGP. So MotoGP is going to Flow as well, but it looks like they're just amassing all of these different IPs. Again, a lot of these IPs I feel like are foreign to me, but I think that they're going to be big players in the space. Like F1, I'm just not big in F1, but I think there is a market for that, and the fact that they have that Rev token is big. So acquiring another brand, this is that MotoGP, that will be, they just continuously, are amassing this IP. Let's go into the Rev token real quick. Let me show the price appreciation or depreciation, maybe, who knows.
I do think what's pretty cool, what I read about the Rev token, in F1 is that, like, if you own, so they actually are going to implement NFT mining, or staking rather. So if you have an F1 vehicle, you can stake that vehicle, and then you can then earn Rev from that, which is really, really cool. I'm actually kind of surprised that you're not into F1, man. I love F1. I got an F1 last year. It's awesome.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. Netflix. Have you watched the Netflix show?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's why. That's why. If you watch it, you're gonna get hooked. I promise. Chad is saying real quick about Dapper. Dapper had a DeFi wallet before this. Dapper tried to capitalize on smart contracts that paid gas. Previously, it sounds like. Interesting. Okay.
Dapper was paying for their users because of that. Like, I think one of the reasons you really love them is because they handle that user experience really well. I think we had that story on the NFTLive segment like a month ago where they stopped that feature. So they were paying for the gas for people that were using
Oh,
CryptoKitties.
yes.
Mhm.
Right. Yep, they were paying for all the gas for the CryptoKitties. I do remember that. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that they treat their community really well. You see Roham, he's consistently posting about how important community is. They just
Mhm.
started. I think they're doing like a conference right now. It's like over the next couple of days that
Yep.
launched yesterday, and one of the first panels that they had was all about customer service. So I really appreciate that as a customer service guy. I did want to check Crypto Pickle. When VR trading of NFTs, brother, that's already going on. You can definitely jump into the cryptoverse or the metaverse, sorry, like Crypto Voxels, and go to one of their museums or their art galleries, and you can actually purchase your NFTs directly in the metaverse. And I went and bought a Quest just so I can get into this stuff, man, and it's awesome. So we're there. The future is now. It's
Mhm.
just not mass adopted yet, right? So that's what we're all here for. That's what we're all working towards. That's what we're all building towards is getting the world to understand how important NFT technology is and how it's going to change everything digital and gaming especially, and in the metaverse.
Yeah, I've got a lot of gaming buddies, and I continuously try to get them into NFTs, and it's a really easy onboarding process with NFTs because it's something that's similar that a
Yeah.
lot of people are used to. Whereas, kind of what's going on in DeFi with lending, borrowing, and the financial system, it's just not even to me. It's still foreign, so you have to do a lot of research, or you could completely YOLO in, whichever one you want to do. So we've got a lot of stuff to get to for the remainder of the episode. So
So
let's
much.
go because we're literally I think at
Over an
107.
hour in.
So we're over an hour in. So this is kind of the big news I feel like, other than the everything that we've
Oh
already talked
yeah.
about. But I think that one of the biggest pieces of news on today's episode is Atari and Ultra. That I
Mhm.
don't know. Do you want to touch on this? Because I think we can both riff on what's going on with Atari and Ultra right now.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, the big news is Atari has partnered with Ultra to add games, communities, and services to its Atari VCS home entertainment system, which is the system that they are coming out with. This is another huge step towards mass adoption and breaking out of the crypto bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a way where people are going to, maybe they don't quite understand what's going on, but people are going to be interacting with the blockchain technology on a daily basis. They're going to be bringing PC games to the VCS. They're going to be bringing Atari games to the VCS. They're going to be helping them build like communities, which I imagine is probably going to be in the form of guilds and stuff like that. I also read that they're going to be helping with some sort of marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this is all really early news, so all this is subject to change, but I think this is in the right direction for mass adoption because I think that gamers are the ones who are going to understand this more than anybody else out there.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense for gamers. We understand digital. We already have value, right, invested in our digital assets, whether it's your League of Legends, collection of skins that you can't sell,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. So, I think gaming is obviously where this technology starts to really blow up and get some real adoption, and then it will branch out from there. Obviously DeFi has got they're off running, right? So lots and lots of use cases. But I think this is cool news, man.
Yeah, a little TLDR here. Atari actually is like launching this like PC and console hybrid that is this
Right.
VCS. So a lot of it hinges on the success of the VCS, right? Atari hasn't, I'm guessing, had too much success over the past 30 years. I don't want to get them too much hate on this. I don't want to throw too much shade on them. But if the VCS is successful, what this looks like is basically if the PS5 or the Xbox X, if they had their own little marketplace that was blockchain related, that had blockchain tokens, and then you can do all these things, within that system. That's what this kind of looks like. It's one of the first. I know we've been thinking about, hey, what if the Steam marketplace, or what if they had different marketplaces where you could trade all of your stuff on Xbox or all of your items within the PlayStation store. Like that's what this is. And Ultra is kind of laying down that structure for them. So basically there will be like Centipede and Pong and all these traditional Pong games, but you'll also have outside of that Ultra, which will essentially be like a place where third-party developers can come in, build the sandbox, and now you have sandbox on console. So interesting stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be huge, man. I can't wait. I need to do a little more research. I need to pick up some Ultra. I think out of like everybody between them and Blancos, it's going to be just like a matter of like who gets out there, who makes the onboarding as simple as possible, and who really like can attack this space. And I think our Atari obviously is they're here and they're trying to do it. And first they started with buying a hotel in, I don't know, it was like Montana or some shit, and now they're creating consoles. So Atari's just trying to really get out there and diversify.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm going to read directly from this actual post here. It says, the eagerly anticipated Atari VCS video computer system will launch later this year and also be available to purchase on Ultra using UOS or Atari tokens. So basically, guys, this is what we want to see. We want to see cryptocurrencies and blockchain tokens associated with games so that people can start understanding what this all means and seeing that, hey, I can't trade my game assets right now on Halo or Fortnite or League of Legends. And this kind of unlocks that, man. I couldn't be more excited for it, for sure.
Yep. Definitely. I think that's where I can't wait, man. It's just like one of those things as a lifelong like gamer, somebody who like came into this space because I'm a gamer, because I like to collect things. This is just like one of those things I used to like literally lay in bed and be like, why can't I like sell my League of Legends, right? Like I put so much money in League of Legends in the first 3 years before most people even had ever heard of League of Legends. I've got probably $400, $500, $600 worth of skins, and I can't do anything with it. And it's kind of sad. So as anybody who's a gamer and who has spent money like that and who has done it for the last 20 plus years, you're really excited about what this offers you, not only for your investment, but like for your ability to make that money back.
1000%. I couldn't have said it any better. I think Vitalik had a story back in the day that I love to bring up all the time, in that he first became kind of wary of the powers of centralization through World of Warcraft. I think he was like real young and he had leveled up his warlock up to a certain state, and then Blizzard just like nerfed him to the ground and he like cried himself to sleep, and then he went on to create what is Ethereum. Like it's crazy how games
That's an amazing
merge
story.
themselves. Yeah, it's crazy how games and technology kind of mesh their way together. So crazy, man. Yep. So let's get to this last piece and then let's dip out. Here we go.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna catch up on chat because we had a lot of chat during that last conversation, man. I'm gonna don't feel offended, guys. I'm just gonna point out some of the big ones that I see, right? So Chad mentions Engine is the king of NFTs. I think Engine is awesome, man. They just haven't had anything that's interested me personally. So I haven't really dug into Engine very much. Somebody else said something that I thought was really cool. Where was it? Oh, Crypto Sacy said, we're already living in the Matrix. Very true. Audio NFTs are possible on Wax Hub. Somebody asked about audio NFTs. People are doing it. There's lots of marketplaces, lots of different contracts on Ethereum that allow you to do it. Wax allows you to do it. Engine allows you to do it. I don't really think there's too much in the way of keeping you from doing audio NFTs. I actually know that somebody pretty big in the Bitcoin space said that they're going to be like attacking. I think that's literally what the tweet said. They're going to be attacking the audio industry via NFT technology. So that's really cool to see. I think that obviously it makes sense. Eventually you get your iPad or whatever, or your iPhone rather. You have your Bitcoin and your Ethereum wallet on it, and that unlocks all your music. So. Crypto Pickle says we need a universal crypto wallet. I agree, man. That is definitely one of those things where once we get to a specific point, we really are going to have to work out that problem, right? Like the million different chains, people preferring one over another, and that kind of thing. So being able to, I think that Uniswap and things like that are obviously making it easier. It's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, MetaMask is, I think, that for the Ethereum community, and you can't overstate that, right? The wallets are kind of overlooked. I think Scatter actually was really good until Rami moved to Ultra, which is really cool. Rami was with the team that built Scatter, but like, cool. I mean, you're interacting on a daily basis with some of these things. You want a really cool, efficient, sleek, very just nice wallet, and they're overlooked
Absolutely.
100%. And I think you're right about that.
Yep, definitely. It's on the horizon. Crypto Pickle says, "I agree, buddy. I agree."
Awesome. Well, let's skip the zoo token. I think that's just
Okay.
kind of like a meme thing. We'll go into Nifty a gateway drop, and then we'll wrap up the episode, guys. Appreciate you. 33 of you are in here. We appreciate all the support that you've given us today.
Yep, definitely. For anybody who was here earlier today and you guys are back here now, which I've seen plenty of you, thank you so much, man. And just just to put it out there, I think we've got over 30 people for almost the entire episode. That's definitely the most that we've had for like a regular episode continuously. I think that we have peaked at like 50 and 60, but to have almost 30 people from start to finish is super exciting. And when we started the episode, I didn't really have any energy, and now I've got tons. So thank you guys so much for providing that to us. And to get on with the news. So today obviously was a Nifty gateway drop. Typically we're talking about what we're excited about, right? When it comes to these drops. But today we actually get to talk about the fact that it's already happened and how well did it go and what took place. And really I kind of just, the one big thing I wanted to touch on here is that Nifty has been really kind of playing with different ways of dropping these products. And I kind of called them out on Twitter and then long story short, I come to find out it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. But basically what they did was they put out this Olive Allen piece, right? And on this one, okay, so you can't really look at the previous packs anymore. So what it is it's you paid $69 for a pack, and in that pack you had the opportunity to pull one of these cool Furby looking dudes, right? Or you could pull a piece of a puzzle, or a bigger poster rather, right? That was literally just this really small, just this chip of a larger piece. Thing is there was 195 of those, okay? And I think there was only like 300 packs total. So you're talking about 2/3 of the people who bought into this thing for $69 a piece only ended up with a piece of a piece. If that makes any sense to you. And then what they did to take it further was, instead of there being only 195 pieces, there's 196. And the last piece, rather than being in the packs, is being auctioned off. So for you to be able to have this complete work of art, you need to have all 195 pieces, and you need to have the 196th piece that's being auctioned off. Why anybody would give someone their money for something like that is beyond me. And I was pretty clear about that. I think that it's you're taking advantage of a really good thing at this point, right? And if too many people do that, we're going to have a big problem, because it's going to take the legitimacy out of this space. When people start to realize that you're doing money runs like this, and at the end of the day, that's what this is. 195. And literally, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see this really well because it's a stream, but this little piece is the top right-hand corner of a W, which is like a long statement that's on a cloud background that she probably put together in Canva. I love Olive Allen's work. So this is really heartbreaking to me that this is what took place.
So, Yeah. So I don't know about the whole like secondary piece, that how it plays in. I know you explained it, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. But I want to take that first piece and kind of defend it a little bit, because fractional ownership is something that blockchain almost allows. If you look at it, and Mona Lisa is definitely like the meme that you throw out, right? It's just like, how cool would it be to own 1/100th or 1/1000th of the Mona Lisa? And I know this isn't the Mona Lisa, but fractional ownership of NFTs is something we haven't seen yet. And it's something that is going to be more popular, I think, as we go forward. People are going to own maybe 1/1000th of the original CryptoKitty. I think like I like fractional ownership. Now, maybe the process that it's going on with right here, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, to me, there's no full piece, right? So like, even if you have number 196, and you go and you pick up, because look, let's see if these are even selling on
So,
the
so let me
secondary.
throw this your way. I like when we kind of have
Oh, yeah.
opposing viewpoints, because we both obviously like respect each other's opinions, and kind of want to have this conversation here. If you could own 1/1000th of the Mona Lisa before it got popular, would you own 1/1000th of the Mona Lisa, or would you say, wait, I can't own the whole thing, so I don't want to do it?
I think that it's a really good question. I think that like the situation with the Mona Lisa is more of like there's no way you can retroact the fact that you know what the Mona Lisa is worth, right? So like I would say, yeah, dude, I would want a piece of the Mona Lisa like before it got popular. Thing is that
Mm-hmm.
I know it would get popular, right? Like I know it would be
Mm-hmm.
worth something. Well, I can tell you just from my screen. I don't know if we've switched yet or not, but you can look at this and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5 rather, and they're all selling for $20, $25 less than what the people bought them for. So you're literally talking about buying a piece of something and now like you're selling it for $20 less than you bought it for. And I
Mm-hmm.
get like I get the use case, right? Like if someone gives me the opportunity right now to throw $150 to own a piece of the Mona Lisa, I'd do it
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
a reason, right? Because it's the Mona fucking Lisa.
So, so,
Um,
so So let's take the experiment maybe closer to home on an easier timeline. Let's say CryptoKitties launch, and you believe in NFTs. Again, it's still kind of hard to go back even 3 years and say CryptoKitties was going to be successful, but we're going to retroactively go back, and maybe you could only own a portion of that original CryptoKitty, the Genesis Kitty. Would you do that? Because that seems like something that could be implemented into like the first piece in the sandbox. Maybe the first estate in the sandbox, people own 100. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I think it is more of a financial like it is definitely more of a financial product to
yeah,
own fractional pieces of artwork
sure.
that can
But
be go ahead.
that could be liquidated at some point, and then you get a piece of that, right? Yeah, I think that the issue I have there, right? So I still have an issue, right? Because you have an original Genesis kitty, right? There's one
Mm-hmm.
full kitty, and someone owns a piece of that, but there's one kitty that can then be sold. As far as I can tell, there's not a complete piece, right? So
Oh.
you don't actually own a piece of something. You own an NFT that says it is a piece of something, right? Um, and that's literally what we get.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
that's my
yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
I,
it's an interesting debate. I think if you played it out and somehow this Hypers becomes like the most popular thing in crypto, I think you could come back and say, well, shit, it was cool to own 1/1000th of it. But
but it's
at the
not a
same
hype
time,
bird.
exactly. Yeah. It's
It's
just
not
like
even a
you're
hype
saying it's like
bird.
a
Like if it
money
was,
year. Mm-hmm.
it's not even a hype bird. So like if she would have like if it would have been like those 195 pieces are a piece of the golden uh Furby that she sold, then
Mm-hmm.
that's totally different. But this is literally like
I see. I
the
see.
NFT is a piece of something. And if you look at my screen now, if you want to pull it up real quick, Buffalo, these are the stats, and you tell me how that would make you feel 3 hours
Well,
after you, or 3 hours after you purchase something. Now, if there was real interest in this, if people really understood it, if people really believed in it, then
mm-hmm.
wouldn't these numbers be a little bit different?
Did this just launch today? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
9/22.
Yep. But they're not going to get
Mm,
any cheaper, right? So even if somebody wants to own the entire thing, the entire piece, they've got to get 195 pieces, and they
yeah.
have to win auction, right? So if you've got somebody out there who just is
Mm-hmm.
try, let's say there's two of us, let's say you're trying and I'm trying, and you get half of them and I get half of them, and all of a sudden there's this auction, and Buffalo is sitting back there sitting on 10 grand because we just spent 10 grand getting our 195 pieces, and he laughs
Mm-hmm.
his way into the last piece and then he burns it.
Yeah. I
So
can.
there's just a lot of this, obviously the guys at the guys at Nifty Gateway reached out to me and were like, we totally understand where you're coming from, buddy, and like, we're just trying to like different things, um and it's fine to try different things. I just don't want an artist to kind of be stuck with that, like unfortunately Goldweird was last week, right? You can still buy some of his packs from last Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, I love this discussion. I think it's like thought provoking when you can kind of discuss this topic. And I wish I had Dimitri here because like fractionalizing pieces of assets are more of a financial product, honestly. And
Yeah.
I think he's turned me over there, but I think that's where you're kind of running up to it. And it's kind of, I think some artists and some that lean more towards the collector and the artist, I think will say you're tainting the product. Whereas I think what financial guys or DeFi guys and this whole mashup with NFTs and DeFi, right? The DeFi guys will come in and say it provides more liquidity for the art, it brings more speculation into the art because that's I think physical pieces are fractionalized. I know that. So it's just
Hmm.
interesting to see. It's crazy, man. There's going to be a lot of people on both sides. There was guys on the DeFi side that said, "What the hell is this NFT? Why I can save as and then it's not
Right.
valuable." It's just both sides,
Yep.
man. I'd love to see it, 100%.
I do too. And I think that regardless, like you're always gonna have that, right? Like we didn't have too many people in chat. Like chat, let us know. Like did anybody pick up a piece? Was anybody feel good about that?
Look
Did
at Car
anybody consider
Jesus.
doing it? Maybe it's a statement. No one person should own the art that's created. I can't
Ooh.
argue with that. I can't argue with that. You know what I mean? And I honestly we're in a space right where we're dealing with artists. So artists are going to give you all types of
Mm-hmm.
explanation for their work, and I think that that's the beautiful thing about art. But I also feel pretty strongly that there are some people who are taking advantage of the fact that this stuff is hot right now, and that you can kind of explain away selling 195 pieces of something for $70 a pop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed, dude. We're gonna have this conversation multiple times over the coming
Yes, and it's
year,
going to be
and
fun.
it's gonna continue to evolve, and we're gonna see it work out, whichever way
And in
it's
a
gonna
year,
work
I'll
out.
probably tell you I wish I would have bought 10 fucking pieces of something, but who
Yeah.
knows, man.
One of the really cool things about fractionalizing stuff is it can be traded, like OpenSea right now,
Mm,
trading full pieces. It's hard the liquidity is just not the same as in like an exchange where you're trading like 10 million tokens. So if you have 10 million of a single asset because people all like are buying it almost like a token, right?
mhm,
You can have more liquidity and more interest in a single asset. Like
right.
instead of like, okay, I need $2,000 to buy this piece of land in the sandbox that's fractionalized, and now people are trading it at $10 a piece, and maybe it goes up in
Mhm,
value, and that person can get out way more easy and way more efficiently than say going on OpenSea. And
right.
then what's another aspect, dude? Real time price feeds. If you fractionalize something that's being traded like constantly, more liquidity, you actually get a real time price feed of what that's actually worth when you put it all together.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true, and it does give you a nice like big picture of like what that's going for, right? I see a
Mm-hmm.
point in it, man, and I definitely see.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like we're gonna see all types of approaches to this
Mm-hmm.
space. The one I am personally like, I can't wait for somebody to really hone in that digital collectible experience that like those of us who come from tops or epics gg or neon mob, the experience is so different, and it's so based around spending you know 2 to 10 to 50 to $100 when you get a really interesting drop. But then the cards that you don't necessarily need, or you pick up some cards in a set you don't want, you can hold them because they're in a rarity tier, everything's kind of the same, and eventually someone's going to want it, right? Like somebody else is going to want that because that's what they need, and they're going to have a piece from the last set that dropped. So when someone in the NFT space comes out with a way of actually capturing that collectible feeling of like
Mm-hmm.
opening a pack, getting 10 cards, having like some cards that you can flip around and maybe you can sell those back for pennies, but then you have like a handful of cards that are actually worth trading, and then you can put out trades, you're not having to pay for them. Obviously, you're going to need a blockchain that doesn't have transaction fees for something like that. But the sky's the limit, man. And there's so many different ways of gamifying it and making this experience fun, creating what's called chases or timed awards, right? Like, so if you complete the entire first OS1 of GPK in the first 24 hours, you get a special edition,
Mm-hmm.
card, and it's only going to be given out one time, and it's after the first 4 hours, and
Yeah.
it's only for the people who have the full set. You're going to start seeing some really, really cool stuff, and it's just going to get more and more exciting.
God. What a
Dude.
great talk, guys. Honestly, I think what we're gonna do here is bring Buffalo in to kind of see us out. But I do want to bring up Buffalo and what do you have to say about kind of what we've kind of all talked about? I would love to hear your thoughts on kind of the whole topic that we just. I know it's broad, but what do you got, Buff?
Yeah, the sharding and like sharing, I'm still wrapping my brain around that. I mean, I've embraced NFTs big time since it started. Like the cogs, you guys were the ones that introduced me to cogs, and I jumped in. I mean, I would have bought more if I could have got more money in before it, knowing it's I love being first adoption of something. And as you guys were talking about that, like I thought about that feeling I got with the cogs and the animation of ripping the packs, and it reminded me of when I used to collect baseball cards back in the day, and when I played with Pogs. I mean, I played like fourth, fifth grade back in the day. I got that feeling. And of course, as you guys know, there's like this wave of emotion on these sales and everything's exciting. And then it kind of just slows down and nothing really happens for a while. So there's kind of like, I don't know. It's really exciting right now. Hopefully I see 2021 being huge for NFTs and DeFi for sure. That I'm trying to just essentially try everything right now. You know, this is the NFT buffet, and I got a big plate and a big appetite. So everything you guys talked about, I'll be looking into. I watch every one of these episodes 3 times over. I want to apologize to you guys. We had some issues earlier with the Stream Deck playing out some things, and also comments. I lost all the potential comments I could put on, but we got that back here at the end. So keep the comments going, guys. I love that, being able to add that as Q and Ronin are having these awesome debates, and you guys actually get to jump in as well. I think is a great addition. So keep those coming, you guys. And I loved it. That was really good, you guys. Seriously, I love your back and forth. It's good stuff. I'm a big fan of just sitting here watching and listening and learning as well.
It was a great conversation.
100%.
I think it was a great conversation for sure. And thank you so much for like putting together that VulcanVerse video. You guys, Buffalo went out there and did his thing. Nobody asked him to. Nobody said, hey, do you want to do content or that we need content? Buffalo just came to us and said, hey, I'm going to knock out an interview. And then the next day he's like, yo, I knocked out an interview at midnight. And then the next day he's got this dope package to share with you guys. So thank you so much for doing that for us, man. We really appreciate it. I was really entertained. I'm super interested in this. Obviously, as you know, I really want to jump into VIMs at some point. So yeah, thank you so much, dude. And it was an excellent episode. Q, you killed it. Obviously NFTLive, you know, it's just going to get better.
So 100%. And guys, next week we're coming to you live for that OS2 of GPK. So we're going to get in on that. Hopefully they don't have any issues. Like obviously there's going to be some mystery around whether that is going to happen, but we're gonna strap ourselves up like good soldiers and march ourselves out to that battle, and we'll see, man. That's gonna do we know what time that's at by chance? It's on Wednesday.
Yeah, most of them have taken place at noon. That's the assumption. Okay. I looked a little earlier today. I did not see a time for it, but I do know it'll be Wednesday, so you guys will get the pleasure of seeing us twice next week again, and maybe that becomes a normal thing. We'll see. But yeah, so Wednesday and Thursday next week. But I'm hyped, dude. I think that this is going to be a really exciting launch. I think that this is going to be one of those that's super hype. Buffalo mentioned the fact that, one of the things that takes place in this space is like it's moving so fast. People dive all in on something one day, and then 2 days later, something else is dropping. So things move quickly, but I can say that OS1 GPK went for weeks and weeks. The community was in Telegram. I mean, there was hundreds of people all the time. So the GPK launches are big, and they'll definitely bring with them probably another wave of newbies. So just take that in mind, guys. We're going to be dealing with some people who have never touched this product before, who don't have any clue what Bitcoin is or blockchain technology. So be as helpful as you can on launch day, because that's definitely our intent as well. So, but other than that, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. If you're not in the lads community, get down there. The link is right there, t.me/joinlayer1. All the lads that participated today, you're going to get some lads for that. And we appreciate you guys, and we're going to head off. So until next time.
At NFTLive.
At NFTLive.